Adelaide United, they got damn close to making the grand final last season. I don't think too many people would have tipped that. What was the secret to their success, Zappa? You followed them closely for a very long time.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to be sort of covering Adelaide games since the A-League started. So I love Cooper Stadium. It's a great environment. It's one of the best environments in the A-League. I think, Thomas,
football stadium,
you've played there. The crowd's always on top of the action. The stadium is undergoing an upgrade, so they won't be playing there for the first part of the season. But when we see Cooper Stadium, we'll see it with a new grandstand on the opposite side, undercover. So that'll make the experience even better. I think we talk a lot about the coaches in the A-League and how successful Tony Popovich has been and how good John Aloisi has been. I don't think Carl Veer gets enough credit. He's got one of the leanest budgets in the A-League, and he's been brilliant over the years of identifying young talent and bringing them in and giving them game time. And we've seen that for many years now at Adelaide. Some of these younger players like Iran Kunda, he was brilliant. He came off the bench and scored some match-winning goals at 16 years of age. He'll be part of the squad this year. So I think a lot of credit should go to Carl Veert and the young players he's put a lot of confidence in.
Yeah, and I think, you've got to respect, obviously, due to restraints, but also the philosophy, bringing through, Yengi, he's obviously moved on now, Torre. There's been a lot of young players, Oliveira, who's sadly out with an injury now for the next 3 months. So it's been an impressive Gauchi. I was very impressed with him last season. I thought he was key, took over. Dalinov obviously got an injury early on, and he took his chance and was crucial.
And what I like about them is most of those guys you've mentioned, they're locals. They're Adelaide locals. So I reckon Adelaide United and probably the Central Coast Mariners are leading the league in terms of representing their local region and sticking true to that local identity in terms of the representation on the pitch. Absolutely.
We've seen it with Awe Mabil years ago, and look what he's doing now. He's playing in the Spanish top division there, and he got his opportunity thanks to Adelaide United. But some of the players that are missing this year for me is a cause for concern. Yengi, Mohamed Toure, Yaya Dakuli, all young players with huge potential, and they've decided to move either overseas or to other clubs in the A-League.
And they lost Al Hassan Toure as well a year ago. He went to MacArthur. I think Mohamed Toure and Dakuli understand going overseas, but Yengi going to another A-League club, that's a really big loss, and he had the injury last year. He's a massive talent. For me, he's a prospective Socceroo down the track, so I think that one could really hurt them.
Yeah, no, sometimes you don't know what's behind it. It could be financial. Again, the restraints at Adelaide, potential bump up in pay at Western Sydney. So we'll have to see. But, he'll get his opportunity there as well to progress his career. And, sometimes you live and die by the decisions you make. And is it the right thing? We'll see. Only time will tell.
Yeah, tough in a salary cap environment. It happens. But a big signing for them returns to the club, Ben Halloran. He was fantastic there last season, over a few years really, before a brief stint over in Asia. Of course, we remember him from the 2014 World Cup squad. He had the number 10 shirt, handed the number 10 shirt by Ange Postecoglou. He's a huge signing for them, isn't he?
Yeah, I love his passion and his energy and getting goals. I think, with Craig Goodwin then on the other side, in some way also returning after, being on loan last year. So those two are going to create a lot of goals, and the Japanese striker Ibusuke.
Yeah, he's been terrific.
And again he's just again just need that service as well, similar to D'Agostino. So I think they look really, really strong. Two experienced Spanish midfielders, and potentially at the back, be interesting to see what the combination will be. Ansel is back from injury, so he's like a new signing as well. So it'll be exciting to see what they can do.
Yeah, Alexander Popovich for me too is one to watch. One of these young players who established himself last year, got an opportunity due to injuries, a really mature head on a young shoulders. So I think he'll be playing an important part for Adelaide this year as well. And you mentioned Craig Goodwin. I thought he was probably in career best form for Adelaide when he rejoined the club, and he's had an interrupted start to the season. He's had a lot of problems with osteitis pubis, so hasn't had a big pre-season. So that'll be key for him, not only for his Socceroos credentials, but also for Adelaide United and their season. So really keen to see him start early doors.
And again, another local product. Obviously, went to Melbourne City earlier in his career and had some stints overseas as well. But 10 goals in 27 games last year. No, he was a star on FIFA as well. But does he get the credit he deserves, Zappa? And if he's fit and firing, surely he gets in the World Cup squad for Qatar as well.
Yeah, huge question mark is his injury and how he starts this season. Because if there's a player that's under an injury cloud, then Graham Arnold will probably look at a fit player rather than one that's got an injury cloud. But you're right, he played in that playoff against Peru. He stepped up and took a penalty and took it well. So that's a huge moment for him, a huge moment for his Socceroos career. He played in that game against Vietnam here in Melbourne and took his goal brilliantly when he came off the bench. So I think you're right. He's really matured and perhaps doesn't get the credit he does deserve.
What are we expecting from Adelaide United this season, boys? Under the radar, I suspect. A bit like last season, I'm not sure how many people would have had them in their top six. What do you expect?
Yeah, I think they overachieved last year and finished fourth. I think they make the finals this year. Perhaps not as strong as last year, given the players they've lost, but I see them finishing in the top six, let's say sixth position.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely making finals. It's always, we talked about Cooper Stadium. I think that's a big advantage for them. When the crowd gets going there, you see it in the playoffs. They nearly took Melbourne City all the way in the semi. So, I agree they overachieved. But yeah, definitely be in the finals. So I'll go fifth.